Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is MC Motorsports broadcasting live from Darlington Raceway with the World Ride Racing League round of 12, race 1 of 3. Playoffs are underway here in the first truck season for the World Ride Racing League. Zach Panzarella currently on top. Pop over to Javier Zapata. Looks like he's trying to make his laps around right now. Currently with a P3 lap time. Will Moore second. I think Camrata currently holds the 4th spot. Got a total of, I believe, 11 drivers registered for tonight. Got a night race here at Darlington. Always fun to watch the trucks, Xfinity cars or Cup cars, turn their laps around under the lights at Darlington. Really fun racetrack. Very technical place. Really difficult for a lot of drivers. Be interesting to see what these guys bring to the track this week. Zapata stopped on track. Got Matt McDonald currently making his laps around. Got a Sundrop Toyota playoff banner on the top there. A few of the drivers are going to have that this week. Matt McDonald to the top of the board, beating out Zach Panzarella by almost nothing. A 28.95 for both of those drivers. Keith Ayers is making his way around now. Also with the playoff banner on the top of that good wrench Silverado. And here goes MC Motorsports' own Michael Matta, piloting the same 616 Silverado that I did at Watkins Glen, and that I do plan to run at Charlotte Roval as well in the next round of the playoffs. Got his first lap down, 3/10 off the lead. And now to 3 and 4, drifts up towards the top of the track to arc back down a little bit, off of 4 down the front straightaway. Does he have enough for the quick time? 3rd place, just a tick off of McDonald and Panzarella, who again both have set almost identical lap times. Kevin Freeman Jr. out on track. Another truck that managed to get the playoff banner on the top of the front windshield there. We're going to pull up the points here, kind of slide it down off to the side. Drivers that made the playoffs listed there, not sorted in order of playoff points, but Javier Zapata, Charlie Irwin, Kevin Stanley, Mark Cofield, Keith Ayers, Michael Flam, William Moore, Anthony Camarada, Jonathan Cofield, Jeffrey Smith, Matthew McDonald, Jade Burr, all made the playoffs after the 18-week regular season. Top of the playoff charts is Jonathan Cofield with 39 playoff points, 34 Javier Zapata. I believe that's 18 for Nicholas Lamb. Those make out the top three, as everybody else didn't even break double digits. Those three really dominated the playoff points all season. Got two drivers left yet to put a lap down. Looks like Charles Irwin completed 2 laps, but probably invalidated both, as there is no time put down for the driver of the 7. Looks like Matt McDonald is the current pole sitter. That driver did squeak into the playoffs, bottom down near the 11th place spot. And with that, qualifying is going to be over, so we're going to grab our pole sitter, Matt McDonald. Get him in for an interview here. If I can get him the proper way, he's coming out of West Mississippi Motorsports. Matt, it's Jonathan in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah.
It looks like you put down a really fast lap there. Almost identical to Panzarella. Just edged him out a little bit. So congratulations on the pole to open the playoffs here at Darlington. How's the track feeling out there for you?
Yeah, I was going to say, we were happy with the qualifying car. The truck feels good. We'll see. I think it's going to change a little bit. But maybe the temperatures will stay the same and kind of it'll run. I think the biggest thing is not who's faster on one lap. It's going to be who can do the long run. As long as we get long green runs, I think it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. And what's it looking like for a full fuel run out there? About how many laps do you think you can get out of a tank?
Looking like right now it's going to be right on that idea of 33. So if we run green, you guys might have to. Not sure what save.
Jonathan just gave all
they have enough fuel
pulling in last second
to make sure it's only 2 stops.
That was honestly really mean.
Alrighty, well, you got a lot of race in front of you here. Starts with the first one. So go out there and do your best. We'll be watching you, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
That was Matt McDonald, driver of the 11, pole sitter for the playoff opener here tonight. We're getting ready to go green. It looks like we got a couple extra drivers joining in late. Jonathan Cofield has made it. We got 13 drivers on the grid. Smaller field than normal, but a lot of the main guys are still here. A good chunk of the playoff drivers have made it. So we're going to come through 3 and 4 here. Matt McDonald on the inside. Zach Panzarella on the outside. Michael Matta second on the inside. Keith Ayers is out there on the top. Heading off into the start zone. Initial start is on the green flag, not the leader. And there's that green flag as Matt McDonald is extremely ready for it. It's got Matt and Panzarella side by side down into 1. Matt is going to clear. Javier Zapata to the inside of the 12 as well. So going on inside Keith Ayers. Fighting for that 5th place spot. Has already made the pass for the lead. Oh, Wilmore hard into the wall. Michael Madden's going to lead the first lap. The driver of the 8's going to have heavy damage in the right front of that Flood Silverado. Looks like it's having a hard time turning. Going to have wheel damage on that truck. Charles Irwin appears to have brushed the wall in too as well. Matt McDonald is already coming down towards pit road. Not exactly sure what's happening with the 11. Back up front, Michael Mann, 2/10 lead over Zach Panzarella. Javier Zapata back behind as well. And a bigger gap to Keith Ayers and Jonathan Cofield into P5. On Michael Matta off of 4. And here comes Javier Zapata. Looking to the inside of Matta here. Going to get clear of him in between 12 and the 616. Javier Zapata to the inside, not going to get there. Michael Matta coming around the outside a little bit, up the wall. High intensity action, and we are only 5 laps in now. Matta on the back bumper of Zapata. Panzarella keeps the inside closed for Zapata, which gets him up into the wall. Both drivers are slow. And Michael Matta's going to come right around for the lead off of 2. Zapata to the inside. Jonathan Gofield making a lead on Keith Ayers down the back straight into 3. We got 2x2 action. Ayers and Gofield still side by side. Panzarella is still behind Zapata as Michael Matta's pulled out to about half a second. Javier Zapata, Zach Panzarella 2-3. Jonathan Cofield has made it past Keith Ayers for P4. Ayers in 5th, Nicholas Lamb 6th, Charles Irwin 7th, Kevin Stanley back in 8th, Jeffrey Smith is in 9th, Camarada and Mioto at the back of the field. Will Moore is down pit road, has damage to fix. We'll see if the fast repair gets used. And Matt McDonald is 3 laps down after starting from pole. Lead is shrunk a little bit to around 2/10 to Zapata. 24 closing in, bringing the 12 with him. Come off turn 2, the lap going more the second time. He's going to be back in 12th, 2 laps down. Matta keeps the lead. Stretch it out a little bit yet again. Zach Panzarella within 2 truck lengths of Zapata. Jonathan Cofield sitting back there in 4th is 1.1 seconds back of Matta. Racing has single filed and settled out a little bit here after the first about 8 laps of intensity. Javier Zapata having some internet difficulties there. Here comes Jonathan Cofield trying to get to the back of the 12. Cofield up 6 spots from the starting spot of roughly 10th. And 3 attempts over the 24. Jonathan Cofield going to the inside down the front stretch of Panzarella. And dive it in there low, slide up to the top. Cleared by plenty. As Cofield now has his eyes set on the 24. He is close to within a tenth and a half of Mata. See if he gets close enough to make a move anyway. Had a little conversation with both Mata and Panzarella pre-race. Mata's favorite spot to set up a pass is off of turn 2, whereas Panzarella really enjoys diving below the white lines into 3 and trying to slide up in front of people. So 2 different ways to pass here, mainly off of 2 and into 3. If you can really set up 3 good enough, you might be able to get someone off of 4 into 1. As the 24 is falling back to the 58 a little bit here. Check back in with Zach Panzarella back in 4th. Keith Ayers, Nicholas Lamb. Got Charles Irwin, Kevin Stanley, Jeffrey Smith, and Anthony Camarada. Austin Mioto, Yamagumo, 2 laps down. And then Matt McDonald, again our pole sitter, not sure what happened, brought down pit road, lost 3 laps. Back towards the front here, so Cofield working on Zapata. Rushes the ball. Right on the back end of Zapata down the front stretch here. As we see a little more coming down pit lane again. Michael Mata's lead up to 7/10 over Zapata. As Zapata and Cofield battle for second. So 24 brushes the wall off of 2. It's going to give Cofield a run inside down into turn 3. You can see dive it in there by the white lines and slide right up in front. Just as these two are still going to go at it here. Michael Mata liking what he's seeing. He can take it semi-easy as they fight. But now the Cofield broken free. He's going to try and make a run at the lead as we see him do week in and week out. Wilmore still down in the pits, probably fixing damage after the fast repair was probably used after the first incident. We'll keep an eye on the fight for the lead here, down under 2/10. Still right around a 10th and a half, the fight for the lead. Go back to Zapata, but Cofield is now catching up. Or Zapata with Panzarella is now catching up, trying to take that 3rd place spot. got two-car battles at the front here. Trying to keep an eye on both of them. Most importantly, the fight for the lead. I'll have to verify with admins, but I believe just like the win and in system for the regular season to get into the playoffs, I believe a win advances you as well. So really big for Cofield wanting to get the win to advance in the playoffs. And then Michael Matta making his first appearance, possibly first and only of the season, as a one-off race here at Darlington. Wants to bring home the hardware. Zapata, Panzarella still separated by a couple truck lengths, and Panzarella still tries to work on making that pass. Both of these drivers at the front are extremely patient. If Cofield's waiting on Matta to make a mistake, that's not likely. It's always going to take a lot of patience and probably tire saving with a little bit of skill for Cofield to get past Matta, because Matta's he's gonna run his race. He's gonna do his thing. He's gonna try and take care of his tires. And if Cofield can do that better, then he'll get by. But if they do it the same at all, it's gonna be really difficult for that 58 to pass the 616. You see here, got a really good run down the backstretch, but didn't take it to the inside of 3. Actually pushed Matta down into 3. So it looks like these drivers are content the way that they are right now. No need to get to the lead just yet for that 58. He just wants to be there at the end. Back to Zapata. Panzarella still gapped out by a little bit. Keith Ayers all alone. Nicholas Lamb a little bit behind, all alone as well. Charles Irwin, Kevin Stanley Jr. has Jeffrey Smith. The battle for 8th right here. Camarada is all alone. Miota's all alone. Matt McDonald 3 laps down still. Wilmore still on pit road, possibly done for the night. We are roughly a quarter of the way through this race already. Nothing but green flag action, as the fight for the lead stays under 3/10. Jonathan Cofield still pacing the field, as Zapata and Panzarella are still staying within 2-3 truck lengths of each other. Nobody doing too much at the moment. And then it goes Panzarella. Makes the pass on the inside. Zapata's going to fight back to the inside off of 4. It's not going to stick that well. I think it's settling behind. Panzarella up into P3. Jeffrey Smith, Kevin Stanley. We see Jeffrey Smith now in front of Stanley from the last time we checked. So we pass for P8 completed by the driver at the 96. Back to the front, still under a blinking of about 3/10. See again, Cofield getting close to the back bumper of Matta, but not wanting to make any move just yet. Austin Mioto is down pit lane. Will Moore's coming out 13 laps down. We are getting closer to the green flag stops, as Mioto is the first one to come down. Lap 28, we heard from Matt McDonald, you can possibly make it to 33. So we're looking for anywhere from 30 if you push too hard, to 34 if you saved really well. With these guys up front, I'm guessing they're going to pit around 32 with the way that they've been running at the front. Panzarella's pulled away from Zapata. We go back to the front. Still an extremely tight battle for the lead. Yeah, Anthony coming out of there, bringing it to pit road down on the inside. Almost extremely overshot corner from Cofield there, but he barely brushed the wall and closed right in on the back bumper of Mata in the middle of the corner. I think Camarada has brought it into his pit box now. Still nobody else down pit road quite yet. Leader's still deeping it out less than 2/10. Charles Irwin is the next one to bring it down. Any lap now, we should see these leaders peel off. Not quite yet. See the 616 into the wall, just a little bit off the 2 there. Did allow Clifford to close in a little. It's not going to do anything just yet. So you see completing lap 33 onto 34. Zach Panzarella and Javier Zapata are both down pit road. Makes me believe we should see a good chunk of cars by this time or next. Not seeing any indication from the lead. There they go. There goes Mata. Jonathan Cofield right behind. What does Keith Ayers do here? Keith Ayers is staying out possibly another lap. Trying to get a lap lead. Get some extra points for the playoffs there. Nicholas Lamb also staying out with Keith. Just watching the battle down pit road here. Nobody to their stalls yet. Cofield pulling out of his box. Michael Mata not quite out yet. Gonna keep the lead off of pit road. Nicholas Lamb has stayed out and taken over the lead as Keith Ayers has came down pit road. So we're gonna get some extra points for Lamb, who looks kind of slow, might be out of fuel. Either is or isn't, but looks like making it to pit lane won't be an issue. Nicholas Lamb's now down pit road, coasting it really slow. I do believe he ran out of fuel. I don't believe he's going to make it to his pit stall. That will end up requiring a tow. Stretched it one lap too many. As here come the leaders. Back to the front. 4/10 gap. Mata over Cofield. Only stretched that out by maybe 2/10 on pit road and exit. Checking with the rest of the drivers, Zach Panzarella not that far behind Cofield currently, but did come up here a little bit sooner. So tires are going to be just a little bit more worn. See there's Javier Zapata all alone. Charles Irwin near Miyoto, who is on the lap. Keith Ayers in 6th. Kevin Stanley. Anthony Camarada. There's Miyoto. Matt McDonald. Matt McDonald's down to 1 lap. Probably does still have to pit. Probably fill it up back down pit road. Michael Maddow has led a majority of the laps so far. Jonathan Cofield trying to run him down. So plenty of race left to do so. At least one more green flag stop is on the schedule. You see the top 3 kind of under the same bit of track here. Kind of have some lap traffic ahead. There we go, Maury will dive down out of the way. We'll go on board with the 616. Actually, we'll go on board with Jonathan Cofield. Tries to run down the 616. Fuel saving there. We hear the clutch go in. Number 1. Smart little bit of move there. Saving fuel on entry. Just coasting at least half the corner. Michael Madison can get in of the same. He is not, he's just rolling it down in there. So we'll see if that does anything on the advantage side. Stretches his run a lap or 2 or 3 longer than Mattis this time. Even with the clutching, it's doing the same thing for entry, just rolling as Matta is. Saving fuel because it's going to be lower RPM, less work for the motors, and less burning fuel. So he might be able to keep right up with Matta on the same pace and just save a little bit more fuel than he can. Zach Panzarella is still watching from behind, about 4 tenths off of Cofield and 7 tenths off of Matta. Javier Zapata is a little ways back as well, not too far. He's still got everybody in sight. Keith Ayers is quite a ways behind, as is Irwin just behind him, Kevin Stanley, Anthony Camarada. We've seen for the majority of the time these two have been 1-2. That lead has not gotten much larger than 3, maybe 4 tenths, and it does get that big. It doesn't last long. As we can see, there's a reason Michael Meta had this one put on the camera. This is one off for the league, not being in the booth tonight. Down on track. He loves this racetrack. Not a lot of people do. But at Darlington, he's going to have that one circled and be ready to go. Penzerella's still looking on. If he's trying to save some fuel and take care of tires to maybe have a chance to drive at those guys at any point. Go on board at 12. So he's got both drivers, P1 and P2, out the front windshield. Trying to take it easy, take it clean. Trying to be there at the end. Javier Zapata still in P4. Chiquita is P5. Back to the front where the gap remains under 2 tenths, down to 10.5. Michael Mata a little too strong into the wall there. Cofield follows to his back bumper. Couldn't get it turned down to the inside to try and make the pass. I'm not sure if Cofield wants to make the pass at all. Trying to hold this out until the very end of the race, just following Mata around and then make his lunge at it. Multiple opportunities for Cofield to get by or make an attempt to get by, and he just hasn't taken any chance yet. He's still following him around. Probably just the fuel saving. A little bit of lap traffic for Zach Panzarella. Zach's falling back a little bit, 2 seconds to the leader. Wonder what happened there. We didn't see too much go on. Wonder if he had a little bit of looseness or something. He's falling back to about 2 seconds from the front two. As they work past the lap car of Mioto. Up on Kevin Stanley. Matt is still going to hold the lead. Kevin Stanley, Michael Mata still in the lead, but not that far. Cofield just following right along. Still no moves quite yet. For P9. We get back to the front. It's about the only place there is really a fight is the front. We gotta be able to inflict some damage to the front of that truck a little bit. And here's the move we've been waiting for. Cofield to the inside of Mata down into 3. Now he's gonna have to run off the high side. We see something out of Will Moore. Crash stopped on the backstretch. He's going to tow. Jump to the pits. Green flag will stay out. As these two are fighting heavily at the front now here around lap 60. Andrella's falling 3 seconds back, still about 2 seconds ahead of Zapata. Michael Matta continues to lead. Jonathan Cofield still banging on the back door. Crash. Yodo is down on pit road. I believe on his way out currently. The top two continue to move the other two on track really badly for position. And Lamb, McDonald, and Smith are still all 3 laps down. McDonald went 3 laps down super early, but if you can beat out drivers like Lamb and Smith in the same lap, and both other playoff drivers, you can beat any playoff driver. Even a small field like this is going to give you, better chances to make it to the next round. Charles Irwin has brought it down pit road. Rioto coming back down as well. Back to the front. Not a whole lot going on in the fight for the lead as they stay right with each other. Cofield made an attempt maybe once or twice to get by, but it didn't happen, so he's falling right back in line and just continued to follow Matta around. At this point, I'm not sure how many laps Matta has led, but even if he didn't lead a single lap the rest of the race, I'm almost sure he's got most laps led locked in. Has to have a majority of them at this point. You see that Cofield does a really good move through 1 and 2 that gets into the back bumper of Matta. He did brush the wall there, but does have a decent amount of momentum off the corner. Zapata's down pit lane, coming in from the 4th position. And these guys that came down around 34 can make it to about 70. So within the next 3 to 5 laps, we should see leaders come down again for what is the final pit stop. You can make it to 71, 72, you're guaranteed to make it. Even from here, right here is really tight on making it. Zapata is going to be super close. A little wall action for the 58 off of turn 2 there. Anthony Camarada, Zach Panzarella down pit road. See the 71 from P8. Zach Panzarella from P3. Here goes Michael Matta. Down pit road, leaves Jonathan Cofield out one more lap at least. The leaders will not be on the same tires this time. They'll be at least a lap different. So we watch our leader, Charles Irwin, behind. Charles trying to get back to one lap down. Usually 58 up in the wall. Having a hard time getting it off that time. And he's going to come down this time by one lap later than Michael Matta. Matta getting into his pit stall. Zach Panzarella came down earlier. Let's see what that does. He blows by Matt McDonald on the inside. As we see Michael Matta coming out of the pits right now. Zach Panzarella coming through 1 and 2. He's going to have the momentum off the corner, but it's not enough to get past Michael Matta. How close Panzarella is to Matta now, though. He might get clear of Cofield. Keith Ayers is down pit road. Here goes Michael Matta with the momentum to overtake Cofield and get back to the lead. Zach Panzarella, slightly older tires, but he's closer to them than he has been all night. The 12 could make this an interesting battle. We're down into the final 30% of the race. You see the 58 brush on the wall there in 1 and 2 again. It's officially go time for these top three ones that can win it. Javier Zapata's a good 7.5 seconds back of the leader, continuing to fall. As this is our fight up at the top three. Panzarella's falling back a little bit. Almost got the nose in there, but got a little loose. Didn't want to left hook Matta. Had to lift out of it. You see that run through 1 and 2 for Cofield is really good. Right to the back bumper of Matta. He's got slight momentum, not enough to get there. He's going to stay behind through 3 and 4. Looks like Cofield's wanting to make his move off of turn 4. He's going to get a nose down in there, down into the 1 and 2. Matta up and brushes the wall slightly. They're side by side. And Cofield clears Matta to the lead. 25 laps to go. Michael Matta has to settle back in. Try and run down that 58. Tires are almost even, 1 lap fresher for the 58. Gap out to 3/10. Zach Panzarella falling back. 1.3 seconds to the leader. Matta brushes the wall again. It's going to increase Cofield's lead to around half a second. Matta continues to brush the wall. Has crashed and jumped to the pits. Green flag stays in the air. We see Matt McDonald down pit road. Jeffrey Smith also down pit road. Jonathan Cofield's lead up to 7 tenths, 8 tenths. Does Matta have any fight left in that truck to get back to the lead? Now 1 second, coming to 20 to go. And as it looks, he's just gonna walk away with it. Now that he's got the lead, he's gonna do what he does. Just walk away. He had all that patience. Followed Matta all them laps. And then a rare mistake from Michael Matta brushing the wall. Gave the 58 the charge to the lead. All the clean air in the world he could possibly want. As we see, the gap just continues to grow. 1.6 over Matta. Matta's got what appears to be nothing left. Zach Panzarella's fallen back to 3.5 back of the leader. As we work through the field, Javier Zapata, Keith Ayers, Charles Irwin. Top 6 all currently on the lead lap. Kevin Stanley 1 lap down. Anthony Camarada 2 laps down. Nicholas Lamb back on track 5 laps down. Matt McDonald trying to chase him down for position. That is our closest battle for position for P9 between 2 5-lap down trucks trying to get all the points they can in the playoffs. Jeffrey Smith is down 9 laps. Mioto down 23. And Wilmore parked it for the night after a couple of incidents earlier. Well, we see Mioto getting in the way a little bit. Jonathan Cofield didn't exactly catch what happened. I was looking at the data off to the right. Mioto was a wall after contact from Cofield. It did slow Cofield up a little bit, but Michael Matta is now going to be on the slowing end of the 16. Gap 1.6. yellow flag is out for the first time all night with 13 to go. And that is going to shake a lot up, as it looks like Austin Mioto involved. So we see here the 16 has the speed over the 7. 7 drifts up into the 16, gets him around, up into the wall. Trying to get that thing turned. Oh, Jeffrey Smith comes in late. Plows right through the 16. That truck crab walks. It might have been alright until that. Now back at the front. Everybody's going to come down pit road for tires. Everybody on the lead lap, that is. We're going to get a clean slate. Fresh tires for the 616 and the 58. And to open the playoffs, this is ramping up to be one of the more exciting finishes of the season. Jonathan Cofield trying to win to lock himself into the next round. Michael Matta trying to win his WRL debut and one-off for the season. Javier Zapata also trying to get the win. Keith Ayers, Jonathan Cofield, Zach Panzarella as well. All those drivers on the lead lap just trying to get the wins. Michael Matta won the race off pit road. Pit time of only 9.3 seconds indicates maybe right sides only for that driver. Everybody else in the 14, 15 seconds in their stall. We'll see what that move does for Michael Matta. It's going to be under 10 laps to go. It's going to be 9 laps to go when we go back green. Michael Matta, the control car on the inside. Jonathan Cofield on the outside. And did I mention that for these nights, Zach Panzarella, Daily Drivers Inc. team owner, is an alliance with the team that I own, MC Motorsports. It was exactly what Michael Matta is driving for. They are in the same chat as team alliances, as there are no other MC or DDI drivers in the field. We have an alliance there. So we'll see how that jump goes for the 616 and the 12. Jonathan Cofield and Javier Zapata on the outside. Keith Ayers on the inside. Kevin Stanley, not seeing him caught up to the field yet, is the only other car on the lead lap. Michael Matta, the control car, down into the Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
He's going to fire off super early. John Cofield's going to stay in front of Zach Panzarella. As Panzarella does get clear of Javier Zapata. Keith Ayers and Kevin Stanley right behind. But as we look back to the front, Jonathan Cofield inside into 3. Michael Matta on the outside, trying to get that run, trying to get that crossover. He gets loose but holds onto it. Bump from Panzarella down towards turn 1. Those 2 tires look extremely loose. Doesn't look like it was the call to make. Little wall brushing there from Cofield with a 9/10 lead to Matta. Matta just super loose off the corner. You see Panzarella and Zapata fighting back here for P3. Zapata would love an extra playoff over all the position points. 6 laps to go, 1.2 seconds for Jonathan Cofield, and it continues to grow. Zapata got clear of Panzarella. Panzarella out of whack, gets Keith Ayers by as well. Kevin Stanley's knocking on his door. Big damage in the back end of the 12. A rough closing couple laps from Zach. 1.7-second lead for Cofield. We have 5 laps to go. Zapata's going to try and run down second place, steal that from Matta, get an extra 2 for a total of 3 playoff points on his total for the night. For the inside. Not going to have it off of 4. Tires to keep second place from Javier Zapata. Zapata looking to the inside off of 4, still doesn't have it just yet. Looking to the inside again. Banging doors off of turn 2. Zapata's going to try and get clear through turn 3. And he will. Javier Zapata up into P2. We check back in with that leader, Jonathan Cofield, 3.5-second lead, 2 laps to go. Lap and a half away from securing the next round and continuing his season tear with yet another victory. Again, as we bring up those points, you can see down there he was 9th in points. But he's going to rack up his 7th win of the season. He's going to break into 44 playoff points total. Lock himself into the next round. Zapata's pulled clear of Matta. Matta's got Keith Ayers trying to take P3 away. Cofield brushing off the 3 and 4. It's not going to matter. It's Jonathan Cofield, driver of the 58 Silverado for the 7th time this season. Javier Zapata, Michael Matta round out the top 3. Keith Ayers, Kevin Stanley, Zach Panzarella round out the lead lap. Charles Irwin 1 lap down. Andy Camarada down by 2 laps. Matt McDonald down 4, got in a P9, beating out a couple guys. Stuck it out to the end to beat out a couple other playoff drivers. Nicholas Lamb, P10, Jeffrey Smith. Austin Mioto was down on pit road. Wilmore was out. But again, Jonathan Cofield doing what he does. Bringing home another victory. And I believe locking himself into the next round of the playoffs. Try and get our podium finishers. Try and get our winner first, Jonathan Cofield, as we have him on the screen. see. There he is. Jonathan, it's Jonathan. You got a copy?
Yeah, but I got you.
Well, you did it again. You came from the back. You got here last minute, it looked like. Got in the session last minute. Came from the back. You won another race. This time it's round 1 in the round of 12 of the playoffs. I believe it locks you into the next round. So the next 2 weeks don't even matter. Just an excellent season that you continue to have. Momentum carried into the playoffs. Just congratulations on another win. How'd the track feel all night for you? Was it loose tonight, or was it pretty planted?
It was loose on new tires. It got pretty tight once the tires started wearing out. But Darlington's a driver's track. I love getting around this place. Sometimes you can drive it real hard and be real fast, and tires wear out. You can be consistent, and no, it's just a fun track to race, man. I love it every time the trucks come here.
Now, you had an absolute monstrous gap right there until the caution came out. Did you have any worry that Matt would have anything for you on a restart, or were you pretty confident?
No, he was fast all night. That last run, I was clutching both corners, trying to save a little fuel. That way, I could maybe pit 1 lap later than he did. It was pretty tight, the pit stop before that. I almost ran out of fuel coming pit road, but I figured if I could save that whole last run, maybe a lap, and then come in a lap after, might have at least 1 lap fresher tires. But yeah, it worked out pretty good. He was fast all night. I really enjoyed racing with Michael, and everybody in the league. Shout out to them for just a clean race. I mean, 1 caution at a racetrack like this. I mean, that's really saying something about these guys getting better.
Absolutely. Now, the race off pit road, it appeared Matta took 2. I would assume you would have figured that out by him beating you off the pits by so much. The 2 tires compared to 4 was extremely different. He was super loose up near the wall, and your truck just kind of stayed where it was and got on by pretty quick.
Yeah, getting the lead's pretty important. I figured he was going to do something like that, maybe to try to get back in the lead. Turn 1 and 2, it's not really a passing corner. You can really hold guys off. 3 and 4, I didn't know what he was going to be able to do there. I just stuck it in the bottom, and it stuck pretty good on the new tires. Got around him.
Absolutely. Well, again, you put together a great race. You had a lot of patience running behind him most of the run. I did pick up on your clutching in. I went on board with you for a lap, and I heard the truck quieting down. So I was on to something with you there. I knew you were gonna try to run it longer than he did, and you got that extra lap on him, and it did come out to pay off.
Yeah. Like I said, good run by him. He was strong all night. When I was running with him, I was just kind of settled in. I tried to get over comms and tell him to do something a little different 1 and 2, trying to help him out, but I was transmitting on the wrong channel, so I guess he didn't hear me. But
Gotcha. Well, another fantastic win from you, and let's hear them shout-outs.
yeah, just everybody at World Ride Racing League, all these guys in here that show up every week. I know wasn't too many in here at the beginning of the session, but everybody come on in here. Me and Dad was running a little late. Dad lives a little further from his computer than I do, so unfortunately he didn't make it, but he's locked in. So like I said, everybody in the league, all the admins, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, SM Racing Products. You ain't got a button box, go check those guys out. Put in Bandits 1 at checkout, save you a little money.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on a win. I still think it's a lock to get into the next round with a win, just like the playoffs were to begin with. I didn't officially check those rules, but I think you're now locked into that next round. So we'll see you next week. I believe we hit a short track. I think it was Bristol next week. I could be wrong.
I haven't even looked.
But I do think the next 2 tracks are like awfully short. They're not nothing too special. I think it's like Bristol, New Hampshire or something like that. But I'd have to double check the schedule. But I'm sure we'll see you out there with another fast truck, and see if we're talking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Jonathan Cofield, race winner, driver of the number 58 Chevrolet. Come home in P2, driver of the 24 Javier Zapata. Zapata, Jonathan in the booth, got a copy?
Loud and clear.
Hey, solid run to the end there. Able to get all the way up into P2, getting 3 extra playoff points to continue through the playoffs with. Up 3 spots from where you started. Overall, an extremely good night for you with a solid finish. You got to be feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, feeling good about it. I mean, it was a long green flag run, and at one point I was fourth, and I thought I'm just going to stay here, save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of tires, and then the caution came out, and we got bunched up together, got new tires, and yeah, it was fun at the end. Solid finish, and yeah, pretty happy about that.
Second place doesn't normally feel that good, but when it comes behind Jonathan Cofield, you got to know you're doing something right, because that man, he's been pretty quick.
He has been. I mean, man, he's in his own league, and I thought maybe if I was starting, right behind him or beside him, maybe I could have had a shot. But yeah, I took a little bit of time passing those 2 cars, and then he just went off. Right, it was pretty hard to catch him, and there wasn't a lot of laps left. I think I had a pretty good short run stint there. So yeah, but Jonathan, congrats to him. It's going to be a good battle all the way through the last race. Hopefully, we both can get to the next round and see how it comes out.
Well, he's done locked himself into the next round, and you started off with the second most playoff points and the most regular points, so you should be right behind him, still in second. So the next 2 races should just be pretty cut and dry for you, get good finishes, and you should transfer quite easily.
Right, and I don't mind finishing second right now as long as we get to Phoenix last race, and hopefully we can get a good shot at it with him.
Absolutely. Well, again, another great finish from you, continuing your really great season. And let's go ahead and hear those shout-outs.
Shout out to my sister Vanessa, husband Ian, Jenny, my wife, and my mom. They're all visiting me here this weekend, so they're having a good time. We're having a good time, and shout out to you guys again, man. You guys are doing an amazing job as usual. It's pretty fun race today, and shout out to my team too, Fatal Motorsports.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on another great finish. We'll see if we're talking to you next week.
I hope we do. Thank you. Have a good one.
P2, Javier Zapata, driver of the number 24 Chevrolet. And last but not least, our very own Michael Matta. Let's go ahead and get him.
Back behind him. Hello.
Michael, it's Jonathan. Your usual right-hand man. I get to interview you this week. P3. Solid finish after a dominant race. Not the results you wanted. You took a gamble on what appeared to be 2 tires on the last stop.
That's true. In typical Matta fashion, gotta do something different.
I mean, yeah, if you weren't starting in first and Cofield was, he was probably just going to launch and pull away anyway. So, you had to try something different there. It didn't work. You did bring home a good finish in your WRL debut. A really difficult track for most. You seem to make it look quite easy.
Yeah, I didn't drive it too hard tonight. I was really conservative, and that's where Jonathan was quicker than me. He was just better in turn 1, and that's where he gained all his time, and I was better on the other side of the track. He was telling me how to do it after the race, and it makes sense. I was driving it in harder, and then he would lift earlier, and he'd get back in the gas and get to my bumper through 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, we weren't even. He was definitely quicker. He just wanted to ride behind me, and then at that last stage, he showed everyone how fast he really is.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not sure if he told you while you were talking to him, but the second stint after the first green flag stop, he was clutching into both 1 and 3.
Oh.
He was saving some fuel to try and run an extra lap over you. And that's
And he did
exactly
that.
what he did. He went a lap later than you did. And yeah, I
And we
went
were,
on board with him the 1 lap, and I heard him clutch it in. And I was like, oh, he's saving some fuel. And so I went on board with you and Panzarella. You guys were the top 3 at the time, and he was the only one doing it. And he ended up making it work.
Yeah, well, I think he would have beat me off pit road. It was close with that green flag run because I was coming up even with him. We were going to be even going into like 3. He might have pulled up ahead a little bit. He got loose off pit road. I don't know if you caught that, but that's how I got the lead back. He definitely would have got the lead there. But that's how that happened.
Yeah, well, it was definitely an exciting race to watch, all the way from the first 10, 15 laps of just high intensity from everybody. Throughout the rest of the race, where he's just following you around, I could kind of tell he was just settling in and waiting till later. But it was a good fight to watch.
I was wondering what he was doing the whole time. Like he was definitely quicker than me. He'd get a run off of 2, and he just wouldn't take it. He'd push me down the backstretch, and then he'd just let me keep the lead. So it was fun. I never really felt pressured by the way he was driving. It was a pretty easy drive. And then I took the 2 tires at the end there, and it was just way too loose. But makes you wonder what would have happened if I took 4. But you just don't have speed to beat Cofield. I mean, we watch it every week. He is the class of the field, and I learned that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a really fun one to watch, and he stopped qualifying at one point and started fighting his way through the field. He still gets up to the front, and he's still winning races. He's got 7 on the season, and that's a considerable amount more than, I mean, Coster won 3 before he stopped showing up, so he's got more than double the next guy. I mean, he's definitely the favorite for the championship, but I mean, all it takes is one bad incident in the championship race, and he could be out of it. So
It's funny you'd say how fast Jonathan Cofield got up through the field. Me and Zach were in chat together. We were talking. It was after like 3 or 4 laps. We were saying he's up to 5th already. Oh, he's up to 4th. He's behind us now. And it was just, he just got there so quick. And I don't know how he saves so much tire while being fast. It's he's just that good. Like he runs fast and he saves tire. And I like to consider myself good at saving tire, but he's good at both being fast and saving tires.
absolutely. Again, though, it was an amazing race to watch. I was having a blast calling it. I was all by myself with you on track, but it was really
You never called me up.
Really fun to watch.
I never got an on-track interview.
No, I didn't feel with you fighting for the lead it was a good idea to do. I could have thought about it during the yellow, but
I called you up while you were driving through the S's.
yeah, you got me through the S's at Watkins Glen, but I wasn't fighting for nothing at that point. I was just driving.
Fair.
I had done spun out once and then completely wrecked it another time. Fighting for the lead at Darlington's a little bit harder to talk through than just cruising through the S's at Watkins Glen.
This track takes a bunch out of you. But it's fun. I love it. It's my favorite track, I think.
Well, we don't normally get to hear this one, but we'll let you give your shout-outs this week.
Oh, all right. I got to shout out you. I mean, put on the broadcast. Been a lot of fun to do with you. I can't wait to go back and watch it. I mean, it's always fun to watch a broadcast back where you're leading. That's always fun. Got to shout out the paint scheme. Can I shout out myself for the paint scheme?
Absolutely. I don't see why not.
I think it's a great paint scheme. There's that. Shout out to MC Broadcast. I mean, and Cisco Moon. Check out his music everywhere. Everywhere music is available. He's gonna like that one. He's gonna like that.
Shouting yourself out for the paint scheme. I got it pulled up. Got it when you were got you in the lead right for that final restart. Good looking truck you put together for us to run over here. We took a 3-digit number combining our 2 numbers of 6 and 16. Got our logo on it and just covered it in fireflies or stars or whatever that ended up being. It looks really good.
It's magic. That's what It's magic.
Well, with that, I think we can pull up the results and head into the ending here.
And something that happened this race is, I guess since it's playoffs, we're missing about 7 drivers. We know that Mark Cofield couldn't make it back home in time, so he had all intents to race. But everyone else, we really don't know what happened. We used to have 20 consistently every week. This time we only had 13 join.
And it looks like everybody that did show up, or almost all of the playoff drivers showed up. We were only missing Mark and Jade. So almost all the playoff drivers showed up but those two. And then we had you and Panzarella. Mioto came out. I think those were the only non-playoff drivers to make up the rest of the field. So we were missing a few guys. Whether it was due to sleeping in, like I've heard Jade's good at, or work like Mark, or anything else. Definitely hope to see some of those guys come back next week. But our finishing results, Jonathan Cofield, even with a restart there at the end, still pulled 3.8 seconds out for a win over Javier Zapata. And we got our very own Michael Matta rounding out the podium. Keith Ayers, Kevin Stanley, Zach Panzarella round out the lead lap. 1 lap down was Charles Irwin. We had 2 laps down for Anthony Camarada, who, fun fact, just got the track before this race and only fell 2 laps down with a little bit of damage and still beat out some other playoff guys like Matt McDonald, our pole sitter. Still not sure what happened to him there early.
Oh, he jumped the start.
Pole sitter jumped the start. He fell 3 laps down early, ended up being 4 laps down in P9. Nicholas Lamb, we saw him get in a wreck and jump to pits before a yellow could be thrown. He's 4 laps down in P10. Jeffrey Smith was 11 laps down. Austin Mioto 36, and Wilmore crashed out on lap, I believe that was 45. So he's 55 laps down. We head to Bristol and then New Hampshire for the next 2 rounds of the playoffs. So a couple of high intensity, Bristol definitely going back there for the first time since early season. Lots of cautions there the first time, but these guys have learned a lot from each other. So I'm excited to see how that one goes. And then, New Hampshire to round out the round of 12 before we hit the Charlotte Roval. And then I think it was Talladega. And I forget the last track of that round before they go to Phoenix for the championship.
They got the Roval's in there somewhere. I think it's in the middle, and then I don't know that.
The Roval leads off the next round.
Okay.
Round of 8 goes Roval, Dega,
and then something.
And then I'm blanking, and then Phoenix for the final 4.
All right. And it's a great schedule to end out the season.
Really great tracks for the playoffs. I think Wilmore is the one that puts this night on for these guys. Does the trucks for them. I think he made the schedule, and he had a lot of great intentions in mind when it came down to the playoffs. So I'm excited to see how the rest of it goes, and we got a good championship fight ahead of us.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to call it. Finally got to race these guys on their truck night. They're no joke, especially Jonathan Cofield, but people like Javier Zapata, and all those people who were just up front. I mean, they're quick. They're quick, and then it's like Jonathan Cofield's on another level. And I keep saying that, but you don't realize how fast he is until you're on track with him, going toe to toe with him, and he's going to be hard to beat for the championship. But like you said, it takes one mistake in the championship round, or one bad round somewhere else. It could end his hopes.
Absolutely. Well, I'm definitely excited to see how the rest of the season goes. I think that's going to do it for us here at MC Motorsports Broadcasting. I'm Jonathan Casebeer. That's Michael Matta. And we'll see everybody next week for... I already forgot the track again.